Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. We're doing Mainstream Mondays here, and I've got my co-host,
John Ward.
John Ward, and this is the second episode of the season, and we are doing Purge Anarchy. But before we
Yes.
get into that, I wanted to show off what came in the mail today. So I've got the stuff I ordered last time,
Oh, okay. That is. Oh, the complete. Okay,
the
so
complete
you didn't
series.
have to get it two different
No,
seasons.
thank
So you get
God.
nice. Okay.
So it's got that, and then it's got it in was it four discs? So it's got the first disc. See these? I don't know why it's falling apart. But it's got four discs. So disc one is or two discs are the first season, and two other discs are the second
Okay,
season. So
that's
that,
cool. Yeah, I have them separated, so
yep. So I got them all in one,
that's
which
cool.
is
And you got a slip
nice.
cover with it,
And I
which is
got a
nice.
slipcover, yeah. And then also came in the mail. Purge, Forever Purge,
Ah, okay,
the
okay.
last one.
That's
So,
that's going to be interesting because on Sunday when OGP and I do his Sunday show, we were talking about the Purge, and somebody in the comments goes, "I hate the Forever Purge," and I asked why. They're like, "It's against Republicans, and they speak really poorly of Republicans." And I remember, of course, originally liking these, I think because I was more to the left. And now that I'm more to the right, it's going to be interesting to see if the Forever Purge is still my favorite one. Because I loved it. And so it's
it
going to
might
be
be my
interesting.
favorite one and not yours. I don't know, because I'm more leaning toward the left these days.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been always sort of in the middle, and everything, but lately I've been going definitely more left. Which is fine. You know what? It show goes to show we can still be friends. I don't care what you believe in. We just don't talk about politics online. We just give each other talk about like movies and shit. Because anytime we talk about politics, we both get mad at each other. You know, kind of realize that about people. Like if it, because Williamsburg's very conservative and stuff, that my town I live in. So a lot of rich old white people that live here. So they tend to go more right. And I just sort of, get told whatever. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts and my thoughts when we get to that. So wait, you're talking with I thought OGP hated the Purge.
Well, I brought it up that we were reviewing them.
Oh,
And then he said, yeah, I started to watch the first one and it was just boring and I just didn't care, so I stopped watching it. And then people were making some comments in the chat, and this one guy said, that he hates the Forever Purge because it bashes Republicans. And it's like, I don't know, maybe that's why I liked it at the time. So that's why
maybe
I
you
think
won't
it's
like it. Maybe you'll feel the same way as that other guy. We'll find out. I mean, uh, as we'll get into this, you can definitely tell what the writer leans more toward.
Oh, these guys are definitely to the left,
Yeah,
definitely, and you can tell. I think I brought. Oh, it's because I brought up rollerball,
right,
and that's why I mentioned that it's ironic that both rollerball and the Purge are kind of anti-violence, but yet people want them to be real.
no, but you
So
talked
they
about
kind of,
that on our show too.
yeah, because it's very weird watching that documentary for Rollerball, which was the 70s, and then, hearing the director and stuff go, yeah, there was a petition to make this a real game, and that's not what we wanted to do. And I'm guessing maybe the people who did The Purge were the same thing, but they're like, well, what if this happened? It would be horrible, and now everybody, including myself, would like to have The Purge happen. So,
I mean, Was it is the same thing with them sure Running Man got people going, "Oh, this would be cool,"
I
and
think
stuff,
people
which
would, I mean, to a degree without the murdering. We kind of had that with, remember Gladiators?
American Gladiators.
Yeah, shows like that were kind of that type of thing. And but there was no murders in it. But
Yeah, I mean, they were just ways to compete with each other, like physically and stuff, where it's you jousting and other stuff. I don't know. Would I want the? I definitely don't want the Purge to be. After watching this movie, I definitely don't want the Purge to be. After watching this movie again, because remember I said like these are the only two I've seen, and I rewatched this movie. Go, oh my God! Yep, I remember this. I remember this spiking my anxiety completely. Like I mean, I don't think I could. I don't think I could sleep. How are those people sleeping at the end of the movie? Like, when he has to wake them up and everything, I'm like, how are you sleeping during the purge? Like, this is you gotta 100% always be protected. I feel like
well,
because anyone can sneak in.
well, if you at the end, if you notice when Frank Grillo gets to the house, it's got the same security system from the first movie.
Yep.
So they're a little privileged. They probably have no worries. They got the security system up, and who knows? Maybe it's even the same community. But rich people probably think they don't have any problems because they're all barricaded. It's the people that we see that live in these poorer areas where, their doors are kicked in and they're dragged out of their homes so rich people can kill them, or just people on the street can kill them, when they're just trying to survive in their apartment.
We did see the Bloody Stranger again, so we do know it's the same area. You know.
The blood we did?
Yeah, he's the guy that comes in at the end of the movie with the big group of people, the black guy there. That's him. The guy that's like,
The
they
homeless
said,
guy?
yeah, homeless guy, yeah. He's
But that
working for
doesn't make any
the
sense because
anti,
this is like a year later.
yeah. He's now working for the anti-FAA. Like, he's working for that black dude who's like going around, trying to bring peace by killing all the purgers and stuff. Yeah, that's him. He's listed in the credits, if in the beginning of the credits. That's why I was like, "Whoa, Edwin Hodge was in this movie? Is in this movie?" And then you see him, yeah, like he's the dude when he shows up and he comes up and said, "You wow, I'm surprised you didn't notice that."
No, not at all.
No, when they're all waiting at the end, I guess we're skipping all the way to the end right now. But when they're all dealing with the
Yeah,
rich
they're
old ladies and old people, they have this group, the military guys come in, right? And they're like, "Who are you?" And and he says something of who he is, but he doesn't say you know, whatever. He's like, we're just here to help you guys or whatever. That's him. It makes sense that a year later he would join a team that would be getting rid of the
okay.
Purge
I
people.
never realized it. Yeah,
And he's in election year as well. So look for him.
okay. That I will have to look for because yeah, I'm seeing it right here. Yeah, Edwin Hodge as Dante Bishop, credited as the Stranger, member of an anti-purge group.
Hmm.
Huh.
Isn't that
Huh.
crazy? Yeah. That's
I
the way it
had
connects to the first movie, you know, other than just being a Purge movie. I mean, it takes place in LA. So, you
Is
know.
he in any of the other ones? No, he's not
No,
in.
I got a sneak peek. I think he dies in the third one because it says deceased in a. I found a like a Purge Wikipedia site, but it's like Purge wiki or whatever. And so it's basically has all the characters. So if you look up Bloody Stranger there or whatever, like that's what he's originally called. He actually gets a name, I think, in the third one. He's never his name, even though I think they might say it in the credits, his name is never brought up in the movie, you know, in the second one. They never say,
Okay.
"Hey Dante, can you come over here?" or whatever. But I think they called him Dwayne at one point. So I think like that's his like nickname is Dwayne. I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
it
But
doesn't say that. So
yeah.
yeah.
So
Huh.
anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
I didn't spot that. So yeah, I'll definitely have to because I think Frank Grillo is in the next one too.
Is he?
I believe so. Let me see. Yeah.
Okay. I liked him, Sergeant.
Yeah, so they do bring back a couple characters. So yeah, okay. All right.
Cool. Yeah, Dante Bishop in the second one and that one and yeah. Um I don't know. I really I enjoyed this a lot more and I think when I watched it I enjoyed it a lot more like before like when I first saw it. I liked it a lot more before because it once again did the one thing that I mean the first movie did the one thing that I sort of not as into, which is like, one location. And we've talked about this many times. I'm not into like one location movies. Now, I liked the first the original Purge movie. Don't want to keep saying the first Purge because that was a different movie that we haven't watched
Oh
yet.
yeah.
But the original Purge movie, I liked that uh and it's in its own because I feel like Blumhouse is really good at having a one location movie thing. Like Sinister was pretty much one location. This was the one location for the first one was one location. And Insidious was wonderful. Like, if you're gonna do a haunted house movie, you're pretty much gonna be stuck in that one haunted house or whatever. So I liked that. Um, but and then they always work. Um, However, I love movies where we get out of the house and we go different places and we have more locations because I that's how I write anyway. I can't be I feel like I'm constricted if I do one location.
I wonder if it's probably just coincidence, but Resident Evil does that. The first movie is underground and it's all in one location. And then the second movie, it's all outside and the people are trying to defend themselves against like the zombies. So
Hmm.
they're all in the city running around. So watching this, the first one and the second one, I'm like, that kind of follows Resident Evil.
It
Also, I felt that Anarchy was a remake of the first movie.
You thought originally or
I
what?
no, I think it, but watching it, I'm just like, a lot of the same stuff in this happened in The Purge.
I mean it's got moments like that,
Well,
but
so at the end, it's kind of the same thing. It's the ending of both of those both films. So you have like um they don't kill the homeless guy in the first movie, so then he's there to shoot somebody. Frank Grillo's character doesn't kill the guy who killed his kid. So that guy shoots the guy who's going to shoot
that's
Grillo. There seems to be like it kind of mimics each other, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I was kind of watching this going, this is a little bit of the first movie, just a little different, you know.
I mean I guess in a way it might be saying something like, you know, um, if you spare somebody's life, they may be able to help you, you know? Like maybe that's a theme that goes through. So we'll have to look for that for the third one,
Well,
if that's a
you
running
know who
theme.
we can ask about that, don't you? We can
Uh,
ask Jason Blum.
nice. Oh, he's got his own Funko Pop.
Yeah.
I gotta get one of those because, and
It
then
has
you're right,
blood all down here.
and then I gotta have I gotta have it next to my Hitchcock one, you
Yeah,
know?
they have a few of these. But then it seems like he's by himself, so he's the only one. But
He's the only Blum.
yeah, I think I wish I didn't take the prices off of it because I think I bought it for like $2. It was
Um,
at Zia Records and had one of those sales stickers on it.
Nice.
And I'm like, should
Oh,
I buy this? It's only $2. And then now I'm really glad that I did. So It's a little damaged right up here, but that's okay for like
Probably
two
what's
bucks.
$2, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And of course I finished this. So now is the second movie in this, the
Yeah.
trilogy. So that's on here.
It's the where'd mine go? I don't know oh, mine's over here. Hold on. All right. I showed it off last time. Yeah, I've got the 4K versions and I watched it in my room and it looked beautiful and it worked and it was wonderful.
Well, I definitely have stuff to show for election year. I've been holding off on it. So,
Cool.
yeah, so that's I'm excited
So
to watch that one because I haven't seen that one in a long time.
so let's get into this one. Once again, like I said, this is the second time I've seen it. I remember the first time I saw it, I was just like, yeah, this felt like Escape from New York, I guess Escape from LA. Like law and disorder, you don't have a clue what's gonna happen, Like there's just so much chaos going on in this movie, or whatever, and that's all because, but the what I noticed is the purge doesn't actually start till 20 minutes into the movie. So you got 20 minutes of basically people you meeting all the people that you're going to be on this ride with. You meet Sarge, Frank Grillo's character, and then you meet the two couple that their car breaks down.
Who's an
And
actual married couple?
oh, for real? Real life?
Yeah, yeah.
Did not know that. Um were they married during it or did they meet on the set of this?
The director just says that they happen while he's talking about the cast, he says that they're actually married. There's a decent amount of stuff of them missing. It's in the deleted scenes, so they cut out a lot of their stuff. There's a lot more fighting and bickering and stuff
Well,
between
good.
them.
I don't like that stuff anyway. I didn't care for that. Honestly, I didn't care for them. Like I if I get them being a part of it and everything, and I'm happy that they are a part of it because they like serve a really good purpose for things. But all in all, their characters were I didn't like this whole, and maybe this was in the deleted scenes and stuff, but I just didn't like this whole like stuff about like, should we tell your sister? Should we tell you, blah blah blah. I'm like, you, if you're gonna like keep talking about something, you might as well eventually explain to the audience what you're talking about because I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, I got it that they were breaking up. Yeah. I mean, I got that. I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why did he
Yeah.
have to tell his sister?
I that she's the person that they would tell, that maybe she's the only person to tell. And so it's like we might as well not keep it a secret. It's like the black mom and her daughter. Remember when they talked about her getting a raise?
Right.
And there is a scene of her asking for the raise, and the white woman boss lists her things. She got, which I wonder why they cut this. It works from them cutting from there to the daughter and stuff saying, "Did you ask for the raise?" So it doesn't take away from anything, but the boss does be like, "Well, you're on SNAP. Well, you're on welfare. Well, you're on," and she lists everything that the black mom is on. And the mom goes, "Well, yeah, I'm on all those." And the boss is like, "Well, then that's good enough. You don't need a raise." And
That's not
turns her down.
well.
So I almost thought that if they had left that in, it's almost like then the mom should have gone back to kill the boss.
Well,
So
I
I'm
mean,
glad they
and
kind of cut
I
that.
think
So
that's the point is like, I mean, the thing is, she has reasons to kill people or something she wants. Like everybody the has the capability of murder, murdering somebody, especially if you think somebody wronged you. Like you talked about the last time, the last video that we did, you were talking about how people, would murder somebody because they got like, were in their parking spot or something, or whatever bullshit, you pissed me off. You said something, you ran in front of me on a red light or something. You know what I mean? Like something stupid that doesn't deserve murder, but people are going to go, well, it's the purge. I can do whatever I want now. And then this is my biggest problem with the Purge itself is the fact that like some of these little things aren't worth the murder. Now, I like this movie because it took the stuff from the first movie and added to it. You know, there were the government stuff. We've talked about that before, like who the founding fathers and stuff, and they kind of explain a little bit more into it. I'm still very confused as to what exactly is going on, and I'm sure that each movie will kind of an onion, will be peeled back, layers will be peeled, and I'll be able to fully understand what it is, or maybe I won't because
I'm not, I did watch that well, it's not really a documentary. It's a guy did like a timeline thing. It's roughly an hour. And he kind of puts everything in its timeline.
hmm
So like season two of The Purge, which is a prequel, he talks about that before The Purge. And I don't know where he gets his information from, but he gets very detailed into the founding fathers, why this was started, and it basically that the government, that violence was so bad, and they realized that they could make money off of this,
hmm
that's why they started the Purge, is that they pretty much rebooted the country. And they're like, look, we could make a ton of money off of this, and we could get rid of the undesirables, at the same time. So let's have this, and we'll make these rules so we
hmm
don't so we're not affected by it. We'll just let everybody else do it. And which I tend to think these days are like the Hollywood elite telling people that work at 7-Eleven or a mini mart or something, to go out and do these horrible things to other people while they sit in their ivory mansions with their walls around it. It's they're protected as they tell you to go out and do bad things. And that's kind of what this guy was getting at with this documentary, documentary. And so that's pretty much it. It was just money, getting rid of people, and stuff like that. With this, because if we break it down, we got Frank Grillo who's going to go kill the guy who killed his kid. He was drunk driving, 3 times over the limit, was let off on a technicality.
you know what that reminds me of? Saul. Like the Saul, one of the
Yeah,
Saul ones where the guy was drunk and he got let out on a technicality or whatever, or so they decide they're gonna torture the guy. And I remember you telling me that you thought that was okay. Sort of like you felt like
yeah.
you would do the same thing. You would be okay with this guy. And I was telling you the exact opposite of like I'm not, and I still feel that way. I don't, you know, I can get mad. Like I get mad all the time. Like even today I got mad. I was over, and frustrated with some stuff and everything. I have a short fuse. But um I'm also not one of those people that even if I'm mad, I'm not gonna go and I would never want to murder anybody over it. And not because it's wrong or immoral, it's to me it's permanent, you know? It's a permanent, a solution, right? And it is something that to me, could I ever live with doing that, myself? Like, could I ever live with myself for murdering something or someone like intentionally? Like, if I accidentally hit somebody, I'd feel like horrible about it. But I wouldn't, unless this was self-defense, like in The Purge, where they have to defend themselves and everything. If I had to defend myself, it was between you and me, John, and you were trying to kill me. Sorry, I would try to kill you too, first, because I wouldn't want to die. But if it was between you and me, and I had a means of escaping before you killed me, I would take it, you
Well,
know?
that's my thing. The people that are on the list are the ones that I would want to go for. I wouldn't go for anybody else unless it was in self-defense. Then that would be, that would be it. But
But
and I just feel that people do things to other, and I don't mean like you broke up with me and hurt my feelings type of
Right.
thing. That's just bullshit. But if it's losing your job over nothing, that to me in that could destroy you if you lost your job because you may be living in your car. You might lose everything. With Frank Grillo, with this guy killing his kid, it obviously destroyed his marriage.
Mm.
And she comes over to see him, and she sees the wife or ex-wife sees all the stuff on his walls. He sees all the photos and all the clippings and the picture of the kid and all of that. And
Yeah.
it's which is it's funny is I recently watched Silent Hill and the
The old
original,
one, the original.
the
Okay.
movie. Yeah, not the new one, not
Because
but the
there is a
original.
new one, I think, right?
Yeah, Return to Silent Hill. And this was like 2006 or something. And I watched an interview with the director, and he said the reason why he changed the character from a husband to a wife in the movie is because he doesn't feel that men or husbands would ever feel that way about losing a kid, but the mother would. So that's why he flipped it because he feels that the mom searching for her kid is more likely than the husband. And I'm like, God, I hope you never have kids. But it gets, because you'd be a dad who apparently doesn't give a shit about his kid. But here you have, like in Saw, the guy did care about losing his kid and almost killed the guy. Well, I mean, the guy died, but he tried to stop it near the end. And then in this one, Grillo's obviously been a year, has been working on this and has been waiting for this one night. So I think that's crazy to think that why would a dad not care about his own kid? Why
I
would a mom care more?
I think that was wrong. I think they, that whoever said the director of that was wrong, and I think what he I think what they should have done is definitely left that. But then again, this just I mean these movies just proves that point right, wrong, and allows us to see that, which I think is great. I liked the you know here's the thing. If he had gone through with it at the end and killed the guy, not only would he have probably died himself, right? But he would have died inside, you know, because he would have lost his, sort of humanity, because he had done so much good stuff trying to protect everybody, and like the people that are coming at him, and even though he didn't want to, like he had that part where he was pointing the gun, and he was like, ah, should I go back in my car and just leave? Do I have to help these people, and he does, and he helps these people out, and he saves their lives. And I just think that was like he had so much stuff, good stuff going for him. And if he had just killed the guy at the end, you know, I think he would have lost all of that, and he would have lost basically his humanity inside. The stuff that he gained by like helping others and doing good things. So I
Well,
don't
and,
know.
and maybe that's, maybe the same thing would have happened in Saw, Well, I mean, maybe the guy would have never killed him, except Jigsaw set it up to where, the guy was getting his arms all twisted. But
Yeah.
I think that you can say things, and then when you get the opportunity to do it, you don't.
Yeah.
You think about it, you get mad, and then you realize the guy has a wife and a couple kids. He really is sorry. He's lived with it for the year. It's might have destroyed his marriage. Maybe it's not the same because which is why I think it was a good contrast with, the second people you'd say, which was the black mom and daughter, who then, the mom is very meek because she doesn't fight for the raise. And then you have the daughter who is following this kind of militant Black Panther guy who's against the Purge. and then you got, who's more stronger than the mom, and then you have the dad who just knows that he's dying and all their money is going for his medication, and he's like, it's not going to help me. I'm dying. It's just, why are you wasting your money on this? And then they fight about it. And that was the interesting thing that I thought about them, because the mom does become stronger at the end. And, she yells, get the car, we got to go to the hospital. And then the daughter does convince, Grillo to not do it, or at least she had a huge impact on him.
Yeah, because you
Um,
could tell like at that moment, which man, Frank Grillo, such a great actor. He's an underrated actor in my opinion. He doesn't get I feel like he doesn't get enough like lead work, you know. He gets more bad guy in the background, you know, or whatever, you know, like Marvel used him for uh Crossbones, was that his name or something, you know, or
I think
whatever.
so. Yeah, I just got a Funko Pop on Crossbones. Yeah.
Yeah. So he, you know, he's wonderful, you know, wonderful actor and I love that he's, you know, utilized if he's utilized well, he does a great job. He does have a lot more emotion than, you know, your typical action hero. He kind of reminds me his character in this kind of reminds me of what is it, Punisher.
Well, and I was going to say, and I have always thought this about him. I have a feeling that he wanted to be Punisher, and he didn't get it because he does have the look. You have somebody like Ray
Stevenson, I think.
Stevenson, and he was the Punisher, and he fit that part very well. And
And then you got the
so
other
you,
guy. What was the other guy's name? There was another Punisher, Thomas Jane.
well, yeah, Thomas Jane, he did look more like that comic book. There's of course the current Punisher. I'm blanking on
John
his name.
Bernthal, which
Yeah,
once again, I really enjoy him. He was from Walking Dead, and then he got
yeah,
the chance
Shane.
to, yeah, he got the chance to be in this, and so, not in this, but
I
in
just think that he
Punisher.
really wanted to be Punisher and he didn't get it. So he kind of plays these types of roles because it's he's a really good actor, and which is why I'm glad that he's in the next one too. But you have what I thought was interesting is the dad of these two women, the mother and daughter, how he sneaks out. And it's a now once again, this could be political with the filmmakers, maybe they are on the left or whatever, because it's $100,000 is put into his daughter and granddaughter's account if he goes and becomes a martyr and basically sacrifices himself to be murdered by a rich white family. And they all have their machetes, and we never see it, but we know what's coming.
Mm,
And they talk about how it's done by rich people in their homes, so they don't have to go out onto the streets. So they're basically cowards, but they have no problem just killing somebody. But they're like the people from the first film that want the black guy, they want the homeless guy. They're just like calling him scum, a parasite. He's not worth it. And that's what I'm guessing these white people that bought the dad,
yeah.
probably think.
I wonder
You're
if they paid those people too, if they paid the family like they said they would. I mean, how they don't even know who these people are, you know, and everything. They don't have their information.
I
So,
with the rules of the purge, I would think that they would have to. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, is there rules on doing it like this?
I think that since we know a lot of the rules, there's probably rules like that that say that this is probably a normal thing that you could do, but you have to pay the person because that, I would think that it would be something that you just have to do.
I do love like okay, so that one part where the military people come in with like tear gas and all that other stuff, and then you hear like something saying like an automated thing saying weapons of, you know, that are not, you know, blah 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 are not allowed, you will be prosecuted, you know, or something, you know, and stuff like that. I thought that was you don't remember that? Or do you?
No, I'm looking at the it's um I'm trying to think of what is the oh, here it is. Yeah,
It's type
it's
4 or something.
Carm Camarello Johns is
Yeah.
the guy who's the leader of that. Yeah, they break into the the facility that is taking groups of these people off the street. They're kidnapping them and bringing them. It's the third group, the third set of people is the married couple that are bickering. And they're at a supermarket, their car breaks down. We find out that this group of black guys basically that are, well, the god, the mask that you have there, that's one of them, sabotage their car, breaks down. They're supposed to kidnap them, and then they get paid to bring them to the facility. So then rich people can hunt them and kill them in a private surrounding, which
Hmm.
reminds me of people. They do this in Texas and they probably do it in other places where they put feeders up for deer and you
Hmm.
stand behind something with a rifle and you shoot the deer as it's eating food. And it's,
Oh man.
well, Matthew McConaughey and his brother own one.
Oh
So
man.
I don't know if they do anymore or if Matthew McConaughey does, but he did. They and it's cheating. It's just like,
No, it's not cool at all. No, I don't.
no,
I'm so I live in a very country area too. Like we have the city and we have the country, basically. And so I know a lot of people who go hunting, and everything like that. I've never gone hunting. I will never go hunting. I think
me either.
um uh, now a lot of my friends when they go hunting, they don't just hunt for sport. They hunt for food. Not because they can't get food. That's right? It's not like they can't go to the grocery store and buy food, but they just, they want like deer meat or something or deer jerky, and shit like that, which I've never had because I'm like I can't eat a deer, like I just
I'm against it. I don't care if you eat the whole thing. I just I don't
I
like
don't
bear.
fish, not even for fun of like throwing it back because
No,
I
because
feel like that's
you're
just mean.
ripping their jaws. You're
Yeah,
tearing their skin.
and then just throwing them back in. Like like to me that's not fun. I'm not a country boy. And I'm happy about that. Like I'm a wait 100% okay with not being, being like that, but
Well, I I think that's why I don't necessarily have an issue with the Purge so much. If it was real, is animals don't know what's going on. You have no idea. A bear is acting like a bear. A shark is acting like a shark. And you're going out there and you're hiding and you're shooting something that's in the distance that's just standing there eating. And to me, that's okay. If you're going to go after a bear, okay, fine, you can take a knife.
that's why you
Then
like the
go,
hunt.
yeah, go after the bear
But
with
that's
the
why you
knife.
like
Yeah,
the movie The Hunt because you're hunting people who have knowledge of what's going on and
they can grab a rifle, they can fight back, they
they
know
can fight
what
back.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and animals don't. So that's kind of how I looked at this facility that these people were dropped into, is that there were the deer that were at these feeders, and these people with all of these high-powered rifles, could go in there and just murder them. And it is hilarious that this anti, purge, you know, I guess group, came in, very Black Panthery to kill everybody that was in there. And I do like that the wife of the guy, the married couple, he poor guy, he gets shot in like a tunnel and then he gets killed. This guy can't win. And she decides to stay. And I find it interesting that most of the people that are in this group are black. And she's a white woman and she decides to stay. And they're like, we'll take care of her because they're talking to Frank Grillo. And they even give her a gun. So
Hmm.
I would be interested to see what happened to her. Does she now become this kind of warrior to stop this?
Is she in
And
any of the other ones?
that I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe look it up.
Let me look
Now,
it up real quick.
everybody, of course, Frank Grillo kills everybody. He's a cop, and so he knows how to use a gun and protect himself and fight. So he basically kills everybody. And now here's the thing. This, unless the old woman that was kind of running this whole show, that was kind of auctioning off everybody, Frank Grillo, once everybody escapes and he goes, "Get out of your car," he pulls the old woman out, old white woman out. Her assistant goes with her, and he just goes, "Look at me, look at me. If I see you again, there's going to be a problem. Go." So instead of killing her, he lets her go, and
Hmm.
she's freaking out. There's a deleted scene. If she's in the next film, I understand why they cut it. If she's not in the next film, this absolutely should have been in the movie. The woman and her assistant exit a door and they go out into like an alleyway and they look behind them and a gang walks behind them and they have dogs, like pit bulls or something. And the dogs are freaking out. And they're like, the woman and the guy is very scared. And the gangs just let the leashes go on the dogs. And you don't see it, but the dogs rip them to shreds. So they get their just desserts. So even though Frank Grillo let them go, saying don't ever do this again, they
Which group
still
was
get
which people? Which people was this? The two people that you said that
the
like
white woman who's running the show.
oh, the old lady.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
old
the
white
old
woman.
lady.
Yeah, and she has her assistant that she's always with.
Yeah, I
And
don't know if
they're
she's back, but
Yeah, so this is so once again it shows growth with Frank Grillo's character, Sergeant, but he's nice enough to let them go. They get murdered anyways. I really wish they would have left that in the film. I think
um
that she needed to get her just desserts and the assistant, basically, guilt by association.
is she in the next one? She is not. She's so I'm sad that yeah, the way you said it sounded like it would have been cool. Um, by the way, the couple that were married in the well, I don't know if they're married in the movie or just dating or something. I don't think it
I
was
think they're meant to be married. Yeah.
okay. Well, in real life, they're divorced now.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wonder if they told their sister.
but I don't know. I don't know what I just saw a file for divorce. So apparently, hey, she's on the market. She was cute. She was
Yeah,
adorable.
yeah, she is. And
Oh
each
man.
one of them seems to have their issues. So like the mother daughter, once the dad leaves, they have the maintenance guy of the building, who obviously likes the mom, wants to get with her, and the mom wants nothing to do with him. He's like a Hispanic guy. He's kind of gross looking with the teeth and all that. And of course goes into their apartment to kill them because they won't give him the time of day. And
Hmm.
that's what I'm talking about when I say like if like your girlfriend breaks up with you, you
You,
know,
you know who that guy is, right? The guy that comes in to kill them.
no.
So that was Noel Guglielmi or whatever, but he's very famous for being in so many movies as the name, what was his name? Like Hector. So he's been Hector in, I'm just gonna count right
Oh,
now.
I've heard of this guy.
So he was Hector in like a movie called Choppers that's coming out. Like he just keeps getting the name Hector. I think he likes it. I think he just like, can I change my name to Hector? Right? And so he's in all the Fast and Furious movies and stuff. He's in a ton of things. Not all of them, but he's
Oh,
in,
okay. That's
you
I
know.
think I've heard of him.
He was the
Yeah,
guy,
but
okay, you remember the movie Bruce Almighty from Jim Carrey's movie?
not at all.
You
No.
don't
I mean, I
you've
mean, I've
seen it.
seen it,
You're
but
right.
yeah, I
You
don't.
remember the scene where those three Latino guys are kind of like harassing Jim Carrey and then he pulls a monkey out of their butt, out of the
No.
guy's butt? Yeah. One of the funniest scenes the whole movie.
I don't remember anything about that movie at all, except him typing fast, but that's about it.
I always love that movie because it goes to show you I would never want to be what everybody thinks of as God, like giving everybody like listening to everybody give prayers, how annoying that would be having millions of people asking, hey, can you help me? Hey, can you help me? Like that would bother the fuck. I don't know. That's that
You,
movie. That's Bruce
you
Almighty.
just have to learn how to control it, kind of like
Well, he
Superman.
does. He sort of does. What he does is like he makes it into like computer files, and then he just clicks yes to all, so everybody gets their prayers answered. It's
There you go.
chaos. Well, it's chaos after that. You don't.
Well, yeah, because I wish this person would die. And then yes.
Yes, click. Or I wish,
Yeah.
or hey, man, can I win the lottery? Everybody wins the lottery. So like nobody wins anything. Because
Yeah.
everybody won it. So it's one of those things where and it started making me think like, it, 'cause I am a very religious person, a spiritual person. I believe that, I do believe in the power of prayer as in like, at least communicating with my higher power, but asking for things, and stuff, unless if it's something that's like could affect somebody else, right? Maybe that's not part of like the universe. Maybe I wasn't meant to have that. So anyway, that's neither the purge at all, but it's just a thought that always goes through my mind of when I pray.
God should just
Um,
give a limit. He should sit there and say, y'all get five. Be
get five.
careful. You get five.
You get
That's
five
it.
wishes.
So
Because
if you
that's
go, because if you go, God, where are my car keys? That's one.
uh
You don't get to take that back. You asked me where are your car keys, and I showed you where they
is
are.
that five like period or is that five a month?
Just five. You get
Oh,
five. So
jeez.
yeah, so you have to use them
Sparingly.
smartly, creatively, yeah, sparingly, and then to use them for very important things. My mother's dying of cancer. I can you please help her? That type of thing. Instead of my boyfriend broke up with me. I wish he was dead. Okay, that's one. Well, you
Uh-oh.
asked me for your car
Who's that?
keys. That's two.
Yep. God's writing this down right now. Hey, I should have.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's a copyright.
That's a good. Hey.
Reserved R C.
TM.
Um, yeah, TM. But then the Hector guy, he gets killed by these by this group of people that are very military, and the mother and daughter are taken outside to Big Daddy. What did you think about Big Daddy?
Well, at the end, when we really find out more about him, sort of what the reasoning behind it, because at first I was like, what is going on? Why are these people coming in and just killing everybody, or and taking a few hostages, and stuff like that? Like what is the point of this? And when he sort of explains that he's just helping the government by, by like upping the purge and making it, bigger and everything. Because that was the thing about the ending. I don't know if we talked about this on the last one, but in the first movie they talk about how that was an excellent purge, right, and everything like that. And I'm like, so is it gonna end like that every time, like every year? This was an excellent purge, right?
I
Because
think wait till you get to the Forever Purge is the reason why it's called the Forever Purge. It's I because in one of the films the purge doesn't work. Nobody kills anybody.
what
Yeah, they just nobody's doing anything.
is that, the first purge or the
I'm not gonna say. But
okay.
I'll say that they have to incite the purge. And so that's why this guy is out there doing it. And when the black gang, the guy with he's actually called the Waving God. And when the black gang takes the white couple and they put them all in, now everybody is in the truck. All of our main characters are in this truck and going somewhere, and they say, please don't kill us. And they're like, we're not going to kill you. We just want money. So now
Mhm.
these people that are like working with the government and the rich people are now hiring these gangs to kidnap these people, not to kill them, but to sell them. So they make money and then they sell them to get killed. And so this whole time we're thinking this gang that went after this white couple, we're going to kill them. and they never were. It was just good. They were just going to kidnap them. They were just targeted from the start. So it's I find this film to be very interesting, which is why when we worked on, when we were talking about your video that we just did for Chupacabra Terror, and I brought up, Anarchy, and Paul said, "Oh, that I couldn't really remember it," and he said, "Oh, it must be a boring movie." No, it's just I really wanted to watch it again before we did this because I just maybe I wasn't paying attention or it just wasn't clicking, but I just remember it being a really good movie. I just really enjoyed it because there are all of these connecting things and everything kind of makes sense
Mm-hmm.
that of how this hierarchy works, that the poor are the poor and the rich are the rich, and you kind of get stuck in between. And it's, like when our whole group is walking, they're about to go through like the tunnels, a bunch of homeless people run away. And Frank Grillo's like, or Sergeant is like, don't worry about them. They're just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that I just find to be very interesting in how everybody works together. But because they're probably saying with somebody like Big Daddy, who's, for people who haven't seen it, he's got a big truck and the back drops out and he's got this giant ass machine gun and they just put people in front of him and he just that those are his own personal kills.
Right.
And so they, I guess, allow him to be like, okay, you could kill a certain amount of people, but we also need a certain amount of people.
Mm.
You could kill 10, but we need 20 type of thing.
Okay. Well, yeah, so they go out and they do that, and he thought, I guess they thought they killed him,
I
right?
think bulletproof vest.
Yeah. And then they thought they killed him, but they didn't. And he comes, comes back, and then they're using uh and it was so smart, it was so interesting, like with the one girl, I think it was the daughter, was talking about how like this is military stuff that only like the government would be able to have or whatever should be able to have. Like who could have this? And one of them were like, I think you answered your question, which means the government is, giving them these tools to be able to snuff out whoever they want because yes, they want to make sure that the purge is like top notch this year, It's awesome. And it is one of the most violent movies I've seen in a while. Like it is, like from the first like it was funny, like I said, like first 20 minutes, it's just, and it's kind of like the first movie. I think the first movie, the first 20 minutes,
It
nothing
take it
happens.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. We're
Yeah,
introduced to everybody
yeah,
because
we're
it
introduced to everybody, and then all of a sudden, then like right when the purge happens in this one, bam, everybody is starting to get killed. Like there are people just getting shot in the street, everything like that. Just it just goes on full blown out war, and
yeah.
it's the scariest thing. Like as I told you the last time, it's more scary than like Civil War to me. Like was, like I felt like Civil War was tamed, but this was what I felt like it would happen in a real Civil War. Like if you were, except that the police, I guess, would have to come in and even whether or not the police are on the right or the left, they still have to come in and arrest people who are murdering people, because that's probably not going to be allowed, if a civil war happens. But people are still going to go out and kill
If
people.
it's like the Purge, I don't think they're working that night.
Well, I'm saying, like, if it's not the purge, because it's not going to be the purge, because the purge, as you
Do
said,
you
you even said, but I'm saying if a civil war actually broke out and people are just going around murdering people that they thought were on the other side, like, say people are like, there's a civil war has begun, right? And they go, you know, uh, and you say you, because you have your five lists. Say your five lists are all Democrats or somebody that you don't like, and everything. You would go out and you would murder those people, right? Because this is a war, and you want to stop this, thing or whatever. That's how I viewed like civil war would happen.
I think if it was Civil War, let's say the left against the right, I think it would be the same way that a civil war or just war would work. That, everybody, you would have your side. So you'd have the gray and the blue, or
Well,
now
it would be,
maybe
yeah, it would be
like the
red or
red
the
and the
blue.
red and the blue. But
Yeah.
it's for something like the Purge. I don't think, like, because they're saying, like, hospitals are off. You can't go to hospitals.
Yep.
I don't think the police are working. I don't think the fire department's working. I don't think any of that. And people, they don't consider it murder. Because if you remember, including the sister who shoots and murders her own sister because she's having an affair with her
Yeah, it's
husband.
crazy.
Each person says, like, right before they kill somebody, it's my God-given right that the new founding fathers gave me in this great country. They do like this little speech to kind of justify it. Like, it's not murder, it's my right to purge. So it's almost like they put that into their own brain to be like, no, I didn't murder my sister. It was my right to purge. She was having an affair. I could purge. It was fine.
I mean, and that was the other thing. Like, that goes back to our discussion of, like, you were saying, like, if somebody were to cheat on you or something, does the person deserve to be purged? I don't think so. Cheating is
Some,
not a crime against
no,
somebody.
but if you're petty,
But no, but like,
if you're
okay,
a petty person, you're going to do anything. I could see, and I think I brought this up, where I could see a tenant
yeah,
coming after me because I raised their rent
but
or
you
because their
didn't raise
stuff
their
went to
rent.
auction. It doesn't matter. It's petty. It's
But
just that
that's not that shouldn't be considered the purge. I mean, but here's the thing, because the first the first movie we watched, the bloody stranger running around was a homeless guy. They thought for whatever reason we need to get rid of this guy because he's a scum of the earth. He's somebody who's deserves to die, or whatever. And that's what they're saying with the woman and the sister who murders her sister over the thing. She's scum of the earth. She's cheating on my, and I personally think that that's terrible. Like, you can't, like, this is stuff where you go, okay, well, and the other example is you were saying that you thought, like, when she didn't get that raise, that she would go around and she would go and come after the woman that didn't give her the raise. That's not, I mean, that was her choice to choose to do that. But you know what also is your choice? To find another job and then quit, you know, a job that treats you better. And that's more of your God, you know, murder is always sort of been a crime, you know? And I guess when it's legal for the whole thing, all bets are off. So you can say, well, I can murder this person and get away with it. So you can murder anybody. You could go up to a guy working at a gas station attendant and kill them.
Oh, and they doing this. You saw that long bus with
Right.
all those like rednecks in it, and
Yeah.
and they there's the two people who have the guns
Yeah.
are just walking on the street.
Yeah.
And Big Daddy just mows them down with his machine gun. They don't know him. They have no idea. Maybe they would have joined him. Who
Yeah, it doesn't
knows?
matter.
But
It doesn't matter
yeah.
because it's the purge. It's well, for Big Daddy, it's just he doesn't care if you're on his side or off his side. There's gonna be lots of blood. There's gonna be lots of bodies on the street. There's gonna be targeted. housing developments or whatever, the apartments that are low rent apartments that are going to be killed because you know what? It's the purge and they need to do that. And it, it it's terrifying to think that if this were real, stuff like this, like I think a few years ago, people might be like, nah, the purge is so fake that could nobody would ever do that. Nowadays, I bet people are like thinking that if the purge ever happened, this is exactly what's gonna what's gonna go on, you
Well,
know?
look, go back to the 70s with Roger Corman, Death Race 2000. That could easily happen. You could have race cars, and they remade it with Jason Statham, but it takes place at a prison. But you can have a race that starts from California that goes, let's say, all the way to New York or something, and along your way, the more people that you murder, the more points you get, the better celebrity you get, the more views you're going to get, the more likes you're going to get. They did update it called, it was Death Race 2050, but I didn't like that. But that was the idea, was that it's all streaming and internet and so I could see that is that you take NASCAR to the next level and you just have these, if there's somebody wandering in the road, you hit them and you get points and you become more of a celebrity. So it's people I think are more interested in being a celebrity than they are being a human. Because you have mothers who will leave their kids hungry because they have to be on the internet at 2 o'clock, you know.
Right. Um, so it goes back to like reality where once again, we've kind of talked about this on the last one that Donald Trump has decided to create the Patriot Games, which is this competition, right? I'm just reading it now from CNN, but was it Donald Trump says in the fall we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. So, I guess 100 people, competing against each other for, whatever, and stuff. And it does sound very much like the Hunger Games, you
I
know?
don't think so, not at all. I don't think so. I think that it's just sports. It's just a game. It's just people competing it. Because then wouldn't the Olympics be the Hunger Games?
Or maybe I guess the Olympics has inspired the Hunger Games in a way, but I don't know. It's
I mean,
all
I think that people, of course, they're hyperbolic. Trump could cure cancer and they would still say something horrible. It's I don't think that it's he wants his name on everything. So it's going to be, the Trump Patriot Games.
Trump's
You know,
Patriot Games, yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. He wants things to last forever with his name on it. So that's why he would do that. That's if it even happens. But it's
I know I haven't not heard about it since it was announced, so like I don't know if they are like looking for the and I don't know who's going to. I guess it's like people who support Trump, I guess would be the ones who do it because I guarantee you liberals would have no interest in doing the something like this, so he might be looking
I
for
I don't think it's any different than high school's football or baseball. And you have all the teams that compete, and then that whittles down to one or two, and then they go and have their own game together. And sometimes the games get a little violent. Not saying this would or would not, but football can get violent. I mean, so it's yeah, I don't know. I think people just like to make stuff up, and if let's say if it is only conservatives that do this, then liberals will be left out, and they won't be able to participate in something that they got totally wrong.
He said a UFC fight on the south lawn of the White House is another one of Trump's ideas for the 250th celebration. I'm like, this dude is just, I mean, he's a little, he's like, I feel like he's just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks,
Well,
and it's
because
just
he knows people and he's friends with like Dana White.
right.
So he wants that. He wants the Trump wrestling, the Trump football, the Trump, and then like you said, then he'll do 10 Trump things and one of them will stick. And then that will go on forever. Then that will be, his legacy will be this type
Yeah.
of thing. You know.
Well,
So
anyway,
I
that's I
I mean
guess this is
if I was president, then there it would be the Ward purge. So I would even call it purge, the purge. I'd say like, yeah, it was influenced by the movies. So
well, can you? Because I mean, is that trademarked? I'm sure it's got to
we'll
be
just I'll
registered.
just call it purge. There'll be no the. Just be purge.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know
purge
how
night.
those things work. I don't know how those because I guess people can't copyright a saying like purge because you always say like I'm purging, you know? So like would you get in trouble for saying I'm purging in a movie because you know what I mean? Like it's copyright stuff is so weird. But anywho,
Hey, as I'm sure if the filmmakers made a lot of money off of it.
yeah, I'm sure they did. It's just like, they copyright wrote the birthday song. Somebody was like, "Hey, nobody copyright this, so let me copyright this," and then sued people over that, over putting that in their movies or whatever. You
Well,
can't.
I mean, they're weird with that stuff. Spike Lee went to sue Spike, the TV station, the channel, because he's like, I'm Spike. You can't call something Spike. I'm Spike. And the court was
Oh,
like, are
what
you
about
stupid?
Buffy? Buffy was not allowed to have Spike, the vampire.
No, no, I guess not, because
Well, he
Spike
didn't
Lee's
go
name
after.
is
I
Spike.
mean, he didn't go after him.
Oh, he just went after the channel, and then Trump wanted to copyright You're Fired.
Mm,
And they said, no, you can't do that because people say you're fired all the time.
yeah,
So it's like it's not you didn't make it up.
yeah. Yeah, you didn't come up with that on your own. That's like something people say, period. It would be like saying, I want to copyright hello, trademark hello. Only you have, it's like Monopoly. Like it's like the game Monopoly. If I own hello, and every time you say it, you owe me $500, or
Yeah.
whatever. Um,
That's
any
that's why you got to be careful with stuff. That's why bands perform songs live because they don't have to pay for them.
right.
So I don't know if it's a live CD or something, that people will buy. Maybe then the band would make some money off of it. But I know that bands do, or movies have covers. They'll have like an unknown band do a cover because they don't have to pay for it because it's a cover.
Yep.
From what I
Um,
understand, I could be wrong, but I think that's it.
so let's go back to the Purge. Because I'm actually, I was really loving this, by the way. I was having such a blast watching the Anarchy because, yeah, it was anarchy, wasn't it? Like it really was. It throughout the whole movie, I was just like, what is like it just there's so much going on, and everything. And it's an hour and 43 minutes, so it's like, 13 minutes longer than the original or so, or close to it, maybe a little more. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. Like they were able to get out there. You got to see what it was like, on the streets of the Purge, and it's scary because you're running around like there's that lady at the top that's just like shooting people randomly and talking to herself, like, saying, I am this person of this stuff, I'm doing this. And then she
A
just also,
Karen to the max.
yeah, just they had to like basically wait for her to start shooting something and then run across the street where she couldn't see them. And then yet the dude walked in and still got a trap, you know, and everything, on his leg, and everything like that. And
Yeah, just strung him up. Yeah.
yeah, the people are just randomly coming after them, and that was just crazy. Like that was just like there was just so much going on in just like that movie. Like there was not a moment to just like relax because like throughout it you're like you have to like look around and make sure nobody's behind you at any time or you know um
Well, and you had mentioned like, did the mother and daughter actually get that money for their dad being killed? And why I think the answer to that is yes, is the very end of the movie, the guys that were with Big Daddy had their machine guns on our core people, and then the mother and the daughter had guns on them, but nobody shot.
after the
Once that
sirens ring.
siren started going, they stopped. Who would know?
You know
Who would
what's
know if you did one shot, you know, but they stopped. Nobody did anything, which is why I think you gotta follow certain things because then things will happen.
so we have like the Surrey power plant, which is like a big power plant thing, like by we're kind of like we're just like over the ocean from it, and never not ocean over like a lake or
Bing,
river or
bing.
something over it. But you have to take a ferry to get there to Surrey, from where I'm at, and they always have like a siren go off if like something happens or whatever, there, and it always freaks me out. Like I never like it when I hear the siren. I'm like, oh God, what's
Probably
that mean
sounds
over
like an
there?
air raid
Yeah,
siren.
and so it's not as bad because you can't hear it as heavily, like, which I'm like wondering how many sirens do they have? Because like you have to like reach every single person, so they have to have a siren go off every single city, basically, and loud enough where everybody can hear it. So that terrifies me to like I would not want like when you start the purge, like okay, so say you didn't have a list of people and you weren't going to go after them, you know, would you huddle in your house and just wait?
I thought about that. And of course, what I thought it was Night of the Living Dead with them barricading the house and people trying to get, zombies trying to get inside. With me here in this apartment, I would be doomed because I'm on the first floor. I'm like right off the street. I got plenty of windows. But what I would try to do if I was a have-not, and I didn't have the metal fortress that you could put around your
Hmm.
house, um, yeah, I would turn off all the lights. I would hide. I would maybe try to go to bed, try to go to sleep, take like a sleeping pill. I would try to do everything to make people not notice me. Um, we know from the movie that certain buildings were targeted because they had the
Yep,
red
the
on
red
them.
on each one that they're
Yeah,
targeting.
because I was thinking, why doesn't nobody there likes the Purge? The dad makes that clear also. So why not turn off all the lights? Why not, you know, just be in the dark, close up everything, just just hide. And of course that the maintenance guy, screws that up and then brings more attention to them. So it's yeah, I would try to hide, and just I would imagine you would do the same thing.
I mean, I mean, we would probably, my family would probably put try to barricade the house in some way or another. Um, we would make sure that we're all in there, and everything. That nothing is outside, nobody is outside, nothing's outside, everything's inside. You know,
I know. Okay, I know what I would do. I work at a storage facility.
you just go
Lock up
hide in
the
the.
apartment. Yeah, you rent out a storage unit, 10 by 10, let's say. It's the size of a studio apartment. You lock up the apartment. I go upstairs with the cats and stuff, and in there I have everything. I have sleeping bag, I have flashlights, I have food, I have whatever I need, and the building does not have windows in it. And you need an alarm to get in, and there's spikes all on the gates. So people could try to get in, but they're probably going to get hurt, and you need a code to get the door open unless you're going to use a crowbar. So I would just, yeah, that's what I would do.
It's,
I would just go hide in a storage unit.
that's the smart way to go because, like, say you had that list and you decided to go out there, you're not, you're not, you're not for sure coming home,
No, and
and
especially with my weight and everything, I would have to be Frank Grillo. I would have to lose all the weight. I'd have to get muscle on me. I'd have to learn how to use a gun. I have my list. I don't think if the purge happened, I would ever do it. I just don't. I'm not in shape. But who
yeah,
knows? If the purge was a real thing, maybe that would make me lose weight and learn how to use a gun. And
you would like the first purge that happened, you'd be like, I'm gonna hide in the storage facility, and then the second, purge, if there was another annual purge, you'd just be like, now I want to start getting in shape, start, right? Because but yeah, that's very smart to hide in the storage facility. Um, it's scary because like, especially in a suburban house where like the one in the first movie where like anybody basically could walk down there, or whatever. I mean, I guess in that one it's a gated community, but in like a regular, like my suburban neighborhood, people can just walk, you know. People have, uh, kids have broken into cars in my area, you know. I mean, it's even mine, which I'm like, why would anyone want to do that? Mine's a piece of shit. Why do they think like I have anything? But, whatever. Um, but yeah, somebody once told me, like, I told them that story, and they go, that I thought somebody had broken into my car, my van, and the guy looked at me and was like, I don't mean this in any disrespect to you, Jonathan. So I'm just gonna say that first, but why would anybody want to break into your van? I was like, good
because
question, because I don't know,
because it's all random. They just do it. I dated a girl who had a piece of junk car. She had nothing in it. She didn't keep anything in the car. The person who broke into it must have been pissed off. They like stole change. They destroyed the inside of the car and then took a dump on like the
Yeah, they were
passenger
mad. They
seat.
were mad at her. She
Yeah,
pissed them off
and
in some way.
yeah. So that's why it's almost better to have like the CDs or something out or whatever it is. So they break in and they take that and leave. Otherwise they mess up your whole car.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, um, given this movie or whatever, because all crime is legal. So people robbing people. They were talking about riots on the streets, but I didn't really see that many when they were just walking around. There wasn't many people destroying. I thought there would be more people like rioting and looting and stuff like that, but it was more waiting for people to come around so they can kill them, and
I mean,
stuff.
maybe see, I don't know about the other movies, but I mean, maybe if there was a riot, like let's say they were breaking open like a store window and they were stealing televisions or something, that the people that were there trying to steal the TVs would kill each other to get the TVs. But then if there was like a mob of people, then you could just drive by and just gun down every single person that's right there.
Hmm.
So maybe that's why it's not done. Like they even talk about, Frank Grillo said, some of the people are like, hey, there's nobody in this part of town. Why is it so quiet? And he's like, oh, nobody comes around the purge because it's like a banking area. And they move out all the money. So it wouldn't even be worth it to try to break into a bank because there's no money there.
That would be smart for banks because if we know the purge is coming, sorry, we're closing down a day early, get rid of all the money, then when the purge happens, nobody can rob the place. So, I mean, why would you want to keep? But then again, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of like moving around all the time. Um, I don't know. I honestly, all in all, I really enjoyed this one. I I thought it was a lot of fun. I was on the edge of my seat a lot of times. My anxiety was spiked because you just didn't know who was coming around that corner, you know? Um, so I really enjoyed it. I think that honestly, the director of this could rewrite Escape from New York and do a good job, in my opinion. You like maybe he wouldn't want to because he's kind of done that, but if there was anything he could definitely handle, you know, Escape from New York and that kind of stuff because in a way he had a Snake Plissken, which was Sergeant, you know, and
Yeah, because
everything.
that's the same. It's the same director and writer from the first movie.
Right, James
Um,
DeMonico.
I don't think there's. Oh, wait, okay. So let's see. Anarchy. What is? Is he one to the other ones too? Yeah, he did. He also writes and directs Election Year.
Yeah, I think he did the Forever Purge as well,
Does
didn't
he
he?
tackle? Does he tackle them all?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it like his thing? He doesn't like hand
Right,
it off
I
to
think that's
people?
what he's. I think we talked about it the last time, but like, oh, he just wrote the Forever Purge. He did not direct it. I wonder why. Um, the first Purge. Um, did he direct the first Purge? He did not direct the first Purge. So
Yeah,
maybe
just the three he directed: Purge, Anarchy, and
I
Election Year.
I think I know why. Because he was in the middle of doing the TV show. So probably since I don't know why he didn't do the Forever Purge then, but maybe they just wanted somebody, a different director. Sometimes it's fun to kind of switch up directors, so you see what else, what somebody else can bring to what you write. You know,
Who directed? You can't click on him. Yeah, he's all blacked out. So first Purge, you can't really see.
so the first Purge was directed by Gerard McMurray. Who what did he direct that? He directed a movie called Burning Sands. Um, that's on Netflix. You can see it on Netflix. But yeah, he directed that, and then the guy who did the Forever Purge was the director of the Forever Purge was Everardo Gout.
Out.
And Gout, Gout, and he directed. He's directed television. He directed an episode of Luke Cage, and 9 episodes of a show called Mars. Directed 2 episodes of Sacred Lies, The Terror, you know, the ship one, I guess, supernatural ship show, and so he did the Forever Purge. That was the big movie he did, and he still hasn't directed any movie since then. But he's a TV director, which is to me is a little weird. I don't know how I'm gonna like those purges because like I don't like it when TV directors take over a lot of times because like TV is so different than film, you know, and everything. And unless you're making TV look like film, it's gonna be a completely different beast. Like usually directors on TV shows are work for hire, so they just come in and they do their bit and they leave, right? So the rest of the crew and everything, they
Sometimes.
kind of direct more or less direct the movie or TV
I
show.
mean, I saw an interview with Bruce Campbell when he was talking about Ash vs. Evil Dead, and he said the first season was to pick the directors. So they gave them the jobs, and then they figured out who they wanted to continue working
Yeah,
with
to
for
bring
like
back
season.
for the second season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in some cases, yeah, maybe it is just a director for hire. They just go from show to show to show. But in some cases, it's like, no, we want you to direct in season two, 3 more episodes. We want you to direct 2 episodes. We want you to direct. But the other people, no, we don't want you to go work on something else. So
Bruce
I
Campbell is in that new movie, is in the new Sam Raimi movie, Send Help, but he's not in you don't he's in the background. I missed him. It's a blink if you miss him. He's a picture on the in the office of one of the people there. So he's just a picture.
Oh.
He's the father of the guy that they talk about the father all the time, but you don't get to see like a flashback with them or anything like that. It's kind of a disappointment to hear. Like I was like, why did Sam do that? And I think it might be like Bruce was busy because Bruce is actually directing a new movie that's coming out. Well, it's already finished and it's coming out like this year. So, you know.
Hmm.
But anyway, I was happy to see that, but I miss Bruce Campbell being in Sam Raimi's movies, even for a small part, a real small part. But what
Yeah,
were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
I don't remember.
Mm.
Maybe I was done.
Well, I mean, I think I think we're about done. Is there anything else we missed? Was there anything in the movie that we did not talk about? Because
No, I kind
I
of.
think we covered it all. I mean,
No. So
yeah.
the sister kills sister. Dad gets killed. No, I think we kind of
In a way, kind of
the
talked about it all, but like not like in
in
chronological order. It's kind of all chaotic. Just like it was like Anarchy.
oh,
How we, that's
there
how
you
we,
go.
that was our review. Was our review was Anarchy. Um, but I honestly, all in all, I really enjoyed it. I would give it 4.5 stars. You know, so I don't know if I could call this the five like a 5 star movie. 4.5 is like the closest I can probably get it to. I don't think honestly anything in this series is gonna get 5 stars from me, just because I feel like it's it's fun, but it's not anything where I go, oh my God, I need to see this like over and over and over. You know what I mean? Like I'll probably watch it again, but not like it'll be a while, you know.
Well, next month is the Purge. It takes place in March, like March 22nd. So
Ah,
you could always watch the movies on that
on
day.
Purge night,
Yeah, on Purge night, watch the Purge movies.
do a purge-a-thon.
Yeah.
Feel like you're purge. Well, I'll have all of them. I'll have all the movies, so I
Or
can
maybe watch movies that are like The Purge. So you could watch The Hunt. You could do Hard Target, with Van Damme.
Van
You
Damme.
could do movies like that where they hunt people.
Well, there you go. Wasn't was Hard Target directed by John Woo?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always remember like John Woo directed a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. That's just to me that's wild, you
It's
know.
another one of those that I saw like a year before it came out, and then when we saw it in the theater, when it actually came out, they like chopped the shit out of it.
Oh, that
Because it was
sucks.
like pretty violent when we first saw it, and then
Well,
we saw it, we went, "Oh, they
we need
cut
the
all the
director's
gore out."
cut. We need the director's cut on 4K. I'll get that someday.
I
Um,
don't think that will ever happen. John Woo stopped directing in America because of that movie.
because the hard target.
Yeah, he went back home. I don't
So
think he directed an American movie after that.
wait, so when did he do Mission Impossible 2? I
Was it
think he
before that?
I think Mission Impossible 2 is the last one he did.
I thought it was.
No, Hard Target was like 90s, wasn't it? Yeah, that was 93. Unless did they not shoot Mission Impossible in America? Did they do it in England?
No, I don't think so. Let me see here. I could be wrong. Well, yeah, because he also did Paycheck, which is that Ben Affleck movie. What was
That
it?
would be the one that probably would make me not want to work in America again.
Oh no, he also directed Silent Night, that horrible movie that's completely silent.
Ah,
It's awful. It's another one of these you killed my kid, and now I'm gonna go after you. What am I thinking of? I know it's like a Hong Kong director, and the movie was so bad that yeah, no, I'm totally wrong on this.
hmm, I
Yeah,
don't
totally
know.
wrong. I don't know. It is a Hong Kong director, and he left. He never came back.
I can't say. Um, all right. Well, did you want to talk about the box office?
Oh yeah. Thank you. So we got um. Oh crap! I just got out of it. Hold on. Let's see how much money this made. The Purge Anarchy. I just clicked out of it because I'm a moron. There we go. Okay. So the film was released in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Its budget was 9 to 11 million,
Wow.
and it made 111.9 million.
Well, let me tell you, the Purge Anarchy's first day, Friday, that Friday, it was released, 13 million in its first day. So already was above their budget, just their first day, you know. And it was the number one movie that day, or whatever that day. The number two movie was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
Number three was Planes, Fires, and Rescue, which I guess is a cart animated thing. Number four was Sex Tape. The
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
yeah, it was okay. Number five was Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Nice.
Number six is Tammy. The
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know why that did well, but it did. Number seven was 22 Jump Street.
That's fun.
Number eight is How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Eh,
Number nine was Earth to Echo.
eh,
Number 10 was Maleficent.
eh.
Number 11 was Begin Again.
Mm,
Number 12, America. Imagine the world without her. You ever heard of that one?
mm-mm.
It sounds like a documentary. Number 13 was Deliver Us from Evil.
Okay.
Number 14 was Think Like a Man. Number 15 was Edge of Tomorrow. 16 was
Oh, Tom
Jersey.
Cruise.
Yep, there you go, your boy.
My boy.
16 was Jersey Boys, which was that Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he directed that. It's the
Uh,
musical.
Number 17 was Persecuted. Number 18 was the movie Chef with John Favreau. Favreau. Um, Number 19 is The Fault in Our Stars, and number 20 is X-Men: Days of Future Past, which is spot on.
Oh, okay,
That's kind of
okay.
cool. Do you want me to go further? Are you interested in more? Because there's 45.
Oh God.
Did you want to hear all 45 or are you done?
I don't know. I think 20 is okay.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is we can go on.
We're
This is
getting into weird, like, I some of these I've never heard of and some of
okay,
these I
okay.
have. Like
All right,
21 was called Wish I Was Here.
so let's go to 30 and we'll see how we feel.
So number 21 is Wish I Was Here. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, that title sounds
It's a
familiar, but
struggling actor, father and husband finds himself at a major crossroads. I don't know who's in it. Who is that? Okay. Somebody. Number 22 is Godzilla. I guess that's Godzilla 2014. Number 23 was Snowpiercer. Number 24 is Rio 2. Number 25 was Blended, and that was at 85. It only made $85,187. Number 26 was Neighbors.
oh, that's a good one.
27 was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Number 28 was Island of Lemurs, Madagascar. I don't
Oh,
know what
oh,
is that.
that's the cartoon.
Is that a No, it's a
Yes, I
that's a documentary that follows Dr. Patricia C. Wright's mission to help lemurs, the highly evolved
oh,
creatures who arrived on Madagascar millions of years ago as castaways, but are now highly endangered.
oh, okay, all right.
Um, then number 29 was Heaven is for Real.
I own that movie.
I own that movie and the book.
Huh?
Yeah, there was a book. Started it all. And number 30 was The Grand Seduction.
How many is are listed on there? You said 45?
Yeah, that's 30.
Okay, so let's do another 10 and then see how we feel.
Okay. Belle was number 31. That was never heard of these Tom Wilkinson movie. I don't know. Yeah. So this is once again getting into some that I haven't heard and some I have. Of course, the Lego movie was number 32. Number 33 is the Grand Budapest Hotel. Number 34 is The Other Woman. Number 35 is Words and Pictures. You ever heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
An art instructor and an English teacher form a rivalry that ends up a competition at their school in which students decide whether words or pictures are more important. What in the? It looks like a Woody Allen movie, but it's not. It's got Clive Owen and Juliette Binoche. I might buy that at some point on DVD just because it sounds weird. Um, so words and pictures. Number 36 is I Origins. Number 37 is Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Mm. Okay.
Number 38 is Yves Saint Laurent. It was a look at the life of French designer Yves Saint Laurent from the beginning of his career. So it's a documentary, I guess. Number 39 is Fed Up, an examination of America's obesity epidemic and the food industry's role aggravating it. Who did that? It sounds like a Morgan Spurlock movie or something. Nah. It's from the producer of Inconvenient Truth. And Katie Couric did that. So great. Um, Number 40 is one of your favorite movies, God's Not Dead.
Ah, I own a couple of those. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, let's we got five left. What are they?
all right. So number 41 is Super Mensch, the life and
Superman.
career of the legendary Hollywood insider Shep Gordon. Number 42 is Godzilla, the 2014 re-release that only made $819.
Oh
Number
God.
number 43 was 50 to 1. I don't based on the inspiring true story of the Mind That Bird, a misfit group of New Mexico cowboys find themselves on their journey of a lifetime when their crooked-footed racehorse qualifies for the 2009 Kentucky Derby. So I haven't heard of that one.
Looks
Number
fascinating.
44 is Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return, which was a cartoon. And last but not least, probably least, I guess, technically least, because it earned the least amount of money then, was the Hornet's Nest. Armed with only their cameras, Peabody and Emmy award-winning conflict journalist Mike Bodeker and his son Carlos provide unprecedented access into the longest war in the U.S. history. So that
Hmm.
is all 45. I don't know if we'll do that again next time, but I know we'll do at least 10, 10 to 20. But that was an interesting 2014 was an interesting year, you know. I liked the year 2014. It was great for me, personally. So, but it did very well. Purge Anarchy was number one, in the box office.
Nice.
People wanted to purge, you know, and so there you go. But aside from that, I guess that about wraps it up. We will be back next month for a brand new episode and for the
Oh, I
elect
never gave my review.
oh yeah, what's your
You did four, right?
I
Four out
did
of
four and
five?
a half.
Four and a
Four.
half. I'll do four.
You'll do four.
What did I do? Remember what I gave the first one?
You said at least I think three and a half originally, and then you went up to four when I said four. You agreed with me, so
Okay.
maybe
Yeah,
four.
yeah. I think the week Well, because it pays off, but the kid letting the guy in, and it's just like, oh my God, you stupid kid. But then it pays off. So it's frustrating at the beginning, but then there's a reason for it. This, I can't think of anything that's frustrating. So I would say four. Yeah. Four, but closer maybe to 4.5, but four.
No, I'm definitely going 4.5. I liked it a lot better, and I once again I like it when it's like there's more to it, than just like one contained area. We've got the whole we've got more of a world, it's world building, and then we see the bloody stranger again, which you missed, and so hopefully, and then on the next one you'll catch him, or whatever. He's literally blink or you miss it. It's he comes in and just says to the people like we're here to help you, or whatever, and that's it. I mean, he had no real big part to it other than that. So, but I think they did that on purpose so that people would go, "Oh my God, that's from that other movie." That's what the pitch guy always says. "Oh, that's from
Right.
that other movie." Right? So that's probably what they would say on this. I don't know, has the pitch guy done the Purge? I'd love to hear his thoughts on these. I don't think he has. He doesn't do a lot of horror films. Not a lot, you know?
Yeah, I
Um,
think sometimes people stay away from that stuff. Let's see.
no, I'm looking it up. He does not do the Purge. But a lot of other people do. Oh God, I see a young Jeremy Johns. He's so young. I don't know if you can see that here, but good God, that dude's a baby. It
Hold
was
on.
12 years ago. Can you
Oh
see it?
yeah, yeah, I've seen him very young. Yeah, like he doesn't have any hair on his face at all. Like
I
hasn't hit
know.
puberty yet.
Yeah, when he's like he's clean shaven, I'm like, ah, I'm not used to him like that, I'm used to the Jeremy Johns we know now. I really like his stuff. I like him and Cody. What's his name? Cody?
I
Uh,
used to watch both of them. I don't watch them anymore. I think both of them reviewed something that I went, "Are you crazy?" And then I just stopped. Like, are you a paid shill? Why are you giving this a good review? It's just like, I want to get up. It's funny, is OGP can't stand Jeremy Johns because he's always moving around. So OGP will imitate
I do
him.
notice that.
I'm Jeremy Johns, and I just can't stand still.
I mean, I guess that
Oh,
would bother people.
what was it with Cody? It was Silent Night, Deadly Night. That was it. He said that he'd never watched the series, and then when he watched it, he said he hated the series. He said that part one was bad, and he loved because he was ranking them. He loved this new one, and I'm like, "Are you crazy? I am done.
Oh,
No
wow. So this was
way."
new. This was a new
Yeah,
venture
I
for
would
him.
watch him, and I didn't have a problem with him until he reviewed this. And
Oh,
anybody who says that the new Silent Night, Deadly Night is good, like I've lost respect for you.
what did the Red Letter Media do it with their half in the bag?
I don't think so.
They just
Maybe,
did
maybe not.
Send Help, which I want to watch their review of that.
Yeah,
Um
I'll watch it after I see the movie. I don't want to.
yeah, well, of course, watch it after you see. It's just like I'm not gonna watch that timelines thing that you talked about until I've seen the whole series, and then I'll watch it, and then that'll be one of the things we talk about.
Yeah,
So,
it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So one
yeah.
of the channels that I watch a lot on YouTube is Mr. Sunday Movies. It's Australian, and they haven't even done The Purge. So
Is
I
it
don't.
the same movie timelines guy that liked Dustin Ferguson's stuff or whatever and had him on the?
So he knows me. And he because I said, "Hey, are you ever going to do like the Meat Massacre films?" And so we communicated back and forth for whenever he might do something that I'm related to, and then he'll be like, "Well, John Ward will tell me if I got something wrong." But I think he criticized Ferguson's films, and then because he lives in LA, they met up. and he's in one of Ferguson's films, one or two. And then I think they had a falling out, like all people do with Ferguson. And now he doesn't bring him up or talk about him or anything.
Oh boy.
Because I
Like they
think,
all do.
yeah, because Ferguson would comment. So whenever he would bring up one of his movies, like the worst Christmas films ever made, and then it would be something from Ferguson would be put in there, Dustin would comment, ha 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 ha, at least at least it made the list. Or like he would joke, but if you know Ferguson, he's probably seething,
Or
and
crying.
yeah, or crying. And I think that was he was trying to manipulate the guy into giving him good reviews. And then because he reached out to me and said, why don't I have you on the show like this
Mm-hmm.
when I do the Meat Massacre? And I said, okay, that's fine. And I think Ferguson told him not to
Of course he
because
did.
it never happened. And I thought, okay, well then I guess that means that Ferguson is going to be on it, and he wasn't even on it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I
so
yeah, let's I guess we don't want to get in trouble, or whatever. We're talking about this on the show, so we gotta be careful what we say here, because he's gonna think, oh my God, you guys are, blah blah blah.
you're obsessed with me. You want to have sex with me. Everybody wants
Um,
to have sex with me. That's what he thinks. He thinks everybody's gay and wants to have sex with
apparently. All right. Anyway, moving on.
him. No, I
Um,
wish more people would do reviews for like The Purge and all that, like the whole series and stuff.
yeah, and that's what we're doing. I
Yeah.
mean, one by one. We're not doing a whole like 6 hour long video or whatever. We're talking, about all of them like that. We're doing I mean, I guess it would take about 8 hours for you to listen to all of our ones that we're going to end up doing. But I can't wait for the next one. I have not seen election year. I know it's very political and, and we all know why, and everything. So I'm excited to see it. I just hope, I hope it's as good as as this one, because this one's really good. I don't see it being, I don't see anyone's topping 4.5. Like I might tie with 4.5, but I don't see anyone's going, oh man, this was the best thing I've ever seen. I need to rewatch this over and over again. This is no Citizen Kane or Ed Wood or Ghostbusters to me. Like those are 5-star movies. I've talked about that before, but they're 5-star movies to me. This is
Oh yeah, I compare everything to Edward. I mean, to Citizen Kane.
and
So,
Ghostbusters for me.
well, yeah. I mean,
Princess
Ed
Bride.
Wood is one of my all-time favorite movies, but when I do talk about films and why I don't give movies fives is that it has to be nothing is as good as Citizen Kane so far. I could even
And
say Jaws. Jaws would be, it's in my top five for one of I think it's like my second favorite movie. But it's flawed. So it's like, nope, it doesn't get five. Maybe 4.5, but it's flawed.
do you need me to make you mad at Citizen Kane like I did? Yeah, like I did with the Muse.
Why
You have
did
to
when Orson Welles got naked, was it a stunt double? Was it a body
probably.
double for
It
Orson Welles?
probably was. You know, but no. I mean, according. Oh, who knows? I don't know. But I'm just saying, maybe there's something in it that'll be like, oh, and then you'll be like, oh, how dare you?
How dare you?
Now all of a sudden I can't watch this movie the same way, or whatever. It's kind of
I
funny.
can't think of anything. It's pretty much a perfect film.
Anyway, we'll find out someday. Maybe I'll
Meow.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll prove something to you. We did review it already for Criterion Watch, and it's a perfect sort of movie for that. All right, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We will be back in a month well, not a month, but like 2 weeks from today or so. And we'll be back to discuss the election year movie. So until then, everybody, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.